So after my first video essay went viral, another YouTuber saw it and hooked me up with his manager. And then we were having a couple conversations, and we ended up setting up a meeting with the head of their talent agency. And then we get on the Zoom call, and he's like, yeah, it's really good stuff. It's really well put together, but just to be blunt, do you want to be in the entertainment industry? Like, you seem like very critical of like advertising or any sorts of ways to make money. You know, that is like the end goal, is to ultimately get like brand sponsorships. Is that something you would do, to do like sponsored content? I go, yeah, I mean, I guess it just depends on what the advertisement is. Like, I'd never do an ad for like gambling or drugs or like BetterHelp. And he goes, oh, right. Yeah, we don't do that stuff either. Or like HelloFresh. I'm like, Hello, what's wrong with HelloFresh? He goes, you haven't heard about HelloFresh? No. Monkey slavery. I go, monkey slavery?
Monkey slavery.
So to source all the coconuts that they use in their recipes, HelloFresh was using monkey slaves in Thailand to climb the trees and harvest all the coconuts for them. And I'm like, what? Is that even an issue, though? Don't monkeys like climbing trees? He goes, not these monkeys. They're beating the fucking dog shit out of these little guys. I'm like, oh, god damn it. Their fucking beef bulgogi's delicious. Now, fuck. I guess I gotta switch to Blue Apron. But then I think, well, it is beef bulgogi. Did I think animals weren't getting hurt in this process? It's not called ground beef because you pull it out of the fucking dirt. Do I not care about cows all of a sudden? I don't know why we draw the line at monkeys. It's a weird line to draw. Like, my buddy was a vegan for a little bit.
I'm a liberal.
And we were on a road trip together one time, and I was eating some gummy candy and asked for a bite. So I'm like, oh yeah, sure, I give him one. And then he takes a bite of it. I'm like, wait, aren't there horse bones in those? And then he checks the ingredients on the back and then looks like horrified and throws the rest of the gummy out of the window. I'm like, dude, you're too late. Like, I don't know if he just thought it would just spontaneously turn back into a horse, like, you freed me. Like, it could not be any more dead to be processed into a nerd's rope. There's no way to salvage that at this point. I've tried being vegan for a while. Like, I do think it's the ethically right thing, but I already have the physique of like Christian Bale in The Machinist, so I just waste away. I don't think I could do it. And then I just compromise with myself. I think, well, it doesn't really matter if I eat meat or not. Like, it's not going to do anything to factory farming. Like, I believe it's wrong, but do I really believe it's wrong? Like, if you think, like, meat is murder, like, you should be, like, the eco-terrorist putting on the ski mask and, like, breaking into the pig farm to, like, free your friends. Like, I don't care that much. I care, I guess, or maybe I don't care. I don't know. If you think hard enough, you can kind of justify anything with moral relativism. You just become, like, a sleazy lawyer for your own impulses. It's like an alcoholic going, like, well, if I relapse every week, technically it's not even a problem because now I'm just back to drinking in moderation like a regular guy. And then it goes by and you go, well, because of hybrid schedules, a lot of people work from home on Fridays. So Thursday's really the new Friday. And then it just progresses. You blacked out at Chuck E. Cheese screaming slurs at your shadow. I'm trying to be a better person. I think I'm kind of a hypocrite, though, because I still buy drugs on the black market, but then I shop at Whole Foods, the white market. Like, I make sure I get the cage-free eggs, but then I support the Colombian cartel. Like, they're not known for ethical business practices. Like, I have friends in Austin that do coke with a metal straw because they care about the turtles. Like shopping kids' heads. It's like the girls that do coke and then go to yoga, like my body's a temple. It's like, yeah, one of them Aztec ones sacrificing Mexican kids. Fucking knock that up. Like, there's always purity tests, just like, you think that Jeff Bezos is bad, and you decide to tweet that from your iPhone, made by child slaves. You use your slavery box to say, maybe Amazon warehouse employees should have bathroom breaks, and they should not piss their pants at work. Typical. You don't think that your grandma should be eaten by cannibals, yet you eat bacon. It's almost like you don't think there's anything wrong with eating mammals. Okay, fucking sure, dude. Fine. I'm a hypocrite. Fuck me. I would prefer that you don't eat my grandma with a baked potato, but if I'm a hypocrite, maybe I'm worse than the cannibals. Maybe the crime of hypocrisy is worse than cannibalism when you really think about it.
And I also finally got the concept of Zen fascism. These guys have embraced like a Buddhist concept of nihilism, where it's just, look, we found ourselves by total random fact of fate to have been born at the end of this imperial moment. We have access to this incredible bounty of exploitation, of the bounties of exploitation, and we're gonna fucking use it and have fun. You're also in the same boat as us. You were born in the same situation. You have access to this same bounty. Why don't you just enjoy it? Yeah, everything's gonna die. Everyone's gonna die. Sure, it's not sustainable, but we're gonna be the last to die. So why don't enjoy it? Why fight against it? And I actually finally got the point of all of that hypocrisy mongering that Republicans do, where they say, "Oh, you drive a car. Oh, you use a cell phone." It's not to try to get you in some petty hypocritical gotcha. It's to say, we're all in this together. We're all on the same side. Why don't you just enjoy it? Why are you torturing yourself? Why are you like,
oh, this is actually bad, and oh no, we're exploiting all these people.
Yeah, but that can't change it. You're in this situation. Just eat the fucking slider, drink the goddamn beer, and enjoy yourself.
Like, you just have to pick and choose your battles on what's practical. Like, everyone has a different moral line, but if you're not 100% consistent all the time, you shouldn't pretend that the line doesn't exist. Like, I was trying to avoid buying Sabra hummus because the proceeds go to the IDF, but I still pay my taxes. All that money goes to the IDF. I'm fucking buying Hellfire missiles to blow up orphanages. You know why? If I don't pay my taxes, men with guns will show up and throw me in a cage. They got Blade. I can't defend myself against a vampire, let alone the IRS. The IRS are scarier than vampires. I don't know. It's impossible to be perfect, but you should at least attempt to try to be better sometimes, I think. It used to be unheard of for A-list actors to do commercials. Not for some sort of anti-capitalist conviction, but because you're looked down upon and it cheapened your status. Sofia Coppola's movie Lost in Translation showcases Bill Murray as an actor at the tail end of his career, flying to Japan in secrecy to do whiskey commercials for millions of dollars, where American audiences would never see them. It used to be shameful and tacky, with the consensus that it would cheapen their work. It would take you out of the movie experience if you're watching Schindler's List and one of the concentration camp guards was Flo from Progressive. But that divide has completely eroded, I think due in part to Super Bowl commercials, where they became a who's who of Hollywood, and getting one of those massive payouts helped legitimize your status as a bona fide celebrity. If all of your heroes are doing it and they're backing up a dump truck full of money to your house, you feel like missing out not to do them. The fact that celebrity endorsements are so effective that they're worth millions of dollars to these companies is depressing how dumb we are. That we're just in the store like, that's the chapstick that Mila Kunis uses. She's so pretty. Rock and punk music is really where the concept of selling out meant something. They had a message and a point of view and didn't want to taint that with any sort of business relationship outside of I make the records, the fan buys the records. That was a lot easier to maintain before MTV, Napster, then finally streaming made it so fans don't typically own physical copies of their favorite band's music. They either listen to it for free with advertisements, or they have a subscription that gives fractions of pennies back to the artists. So the philosophy was tweaked to make it more practical in the new consumer landscape. So in the early 2000s, there's this musician, Saul Williams, who was like a radically outspoken human rights activist, like Black Panther adjacent, and Nike reached out to use the song List of Demands in one of their commercials. You know the one? It's like, I
want my money back. Come down here, drown me in your fat. I'm playing on your knees and do everything you like. I'm not afraid of you. I'm just a victim of your peers. I got a list of demands written on the palm of my hand.
So then there was a lot of discourse on whether he was selling out by working with them. It's like, everything you say, you're going to turn around and work with this group that uses child slavery in sweatshops.
It's like, I guess on one hand, maybe it would have struck me differently if I had been asked to write a song for Nike, you know?
Yeah.
But for them to come to me 4 years after a song was written and say, we want to put this in a commercial, you know? Me, I felt like they were doing a commercial for me more than they were for themselves. I don't know how many people watch Nike commercials and go, I want to go buy the Nike, but I know that people hear a song and go, what is that song?
Yeah, for sure.
You know, and I know I'm very certain of the energy that I place into my music. And I don't believe, you know, like I've been doing a dance with the so-called powers that be from the time I put out my first album, Slam, which, I mean, my first movie, Slam, which came out through Trimark, which was, you know, a big corporation, or my first album, which came out through Sony, which was a big corporation. So maintaining my independence as an artist has, you know, doesn't always have to mean that I'm not working with major companies. All of my books come out through MTV, for example.
Yeah, what's wrong with getting paid too, right?
Yeah, well, there's that. There's nothing wrong with getting paid, but there's also something important about getting that work out there.
Yeah.
Funny, because Nas, I actually said something to Nas about this, and I was like, you know, this is interesting. Nike just asked me, I was like, is that selling out? He's like, that's not selling out, son. That's buying in. And I realized it wasn't me buying it. It was then the question, you know, then becomes, you know, well, how is it that we, you know, who pride ourselves on being rebels and being revolutionaries, you know, how do we, you know, postulate ourselves in this age? Do we define ourselves according to what we say no to, or by the passion with which we say yes? When, you know, the paradigm shift occurs, there are certain things like, you're not going to stop Nike from making shoes, but you can make them more responsible about the sort of shoes that they make, right? And how they make them and how they pay fair wages. Because I went to the Nike campus in Beaverton, Oregon last week, and was like, oh shit, y'all ain't really close to running out of money. I should have asked for more. You know? But seriously, you know, it's like, as I sat there with the head of global marketing and the global director of Nike, and had the opportunity to say, so what are you guys doing about sweatshops? If I said no, the conversation would have never occurred. So that all of a sudden, I opened doors for me to do to actually make the shift from the stuff that I'm on the sidewalk screaming about, to actually, you know, maybe get on some Bible shit. Like, let's set up a meeting.
I'm sure you've had the experience of watching television and snapping to attention when you hear a familiar song by one of your favorite Small of Fame bands as the backdrop for an automobile commercial. Perhaps you've thought to yourself, that is so fucking weak. What a bunch of sellouts. I hate their guts. I get letters from people expressing their outrage that they heard the music of the Stooges, the Ramones, the Buzzcocks, or the Fall in an ad, and I understand their anger and sense of loss as they figure yet another one of their well-kept secrets has just become part of the corporate structure, and the band is nothing more than the lapdogs of the man, the very man they were supposed to be sticking it to in every waking moment. These bands are not being co-opted or selling out at all. Selling out is when you make the record you're told to make instead of the one you want to make. I wonder if it ever occurred to these people that the reason the music of these interesting and alternative bands is being recruited is because their fans are now the ones calling the shots. In other words, we have arrived. Of course the ad is trying to sell you something, and by using a band you like, attempting to gain your confidence by exploiting the band's integrity for a commercial end. So what? You're not a fucking moron, are ya? You see through that, don't ya? What would you rather hear? Iggy and the Teddy Bears doing I'm a Punk Rocker in a car ad, or enduring some generic background music? I thought so. Do you have any idea what some of these bands went through to make that music? The fact that there might be some money for them all these years later is great. You think that paycheck is in any way a slight to their integrity? Are you fucking kidding me? Pay them. Pay them double. Pay them now. It's about fucking time.
Like, you know, that's like when people go, you sell out. You know, there's a famous, like, video of Bill Hicks, like, screaming about Jay Leno selling out. It's so ridiculous. Because Jay Leno did a Cheetos commercial.
Doritos.
Doritos.
Yeah, he did Doritos.
You got a little office bet going on, wondering which guest it's going to be when Jay finally takes a pistol out of his jacket, puts it in his mouth, and blows his Dorito shilling head off his fucking head. Dear God, what have I done with my life? His brains spew out, forming an NBC peacock on the wall behind him. Because he's a company man to the bitter fucking end. It all started, folks, when he did a Doritos commercial. And here's the deal. I'm drawing a line in the sand like Colonel Fannin did at the Alamo. You're with me or you're not. If you do a commercial, you're off the artistic roll call forever. Case fucking closed.
They could have gone after a lot of people if it just came down to selling out, whatever that means. I mean, presumably Bill Hicks, performed in clubs that sold liquor.
Right.
So, I mean, everything's selling out. I mean, unless you just sit in your home and create art for yourself,
Well, I think selling out is violating your personal belief system for some type of gain, financial gain or power gain or whatever it is. But if Leno
But what was Leno's act that he was...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If he didn't have a particular, boy, I really hate Doritos. Doritos is going to give me some money.
Right.
Guess I better rethink that,
Of course.
he probably was neutral on Doritos, and someone said, hey, here's $1 million. Well, sure, why not?
John Mulaney getting out of rehab and doing an ad for non-alcoholic beer, and Bert Kreischer having his own line of vodka as the party guy makes sense. That's in line with the work that they're putting out. If they reversed it and Mulaney started hawking liquor immediately after doing this emotional special about sobriety, it'd feel a bit odd. Casey Anthony shouldn't collaborate with Pampers. Partnering with corporations shouldn't be taken lightly and can jeopardize the trust and relationship you've built up with your audience over the years.
News today as beloved Pootie Tang has agreed to endorse several controversial products for Lecter Corp, the infamous giant corporation.
Yo, fellas, something on the TV about Pootie Tang. Even my kids, man, my kids looked up to him, man. Know what I mean? And they don't even look at Dad like they look at him. But now, since he crossed, man, my little man came up to me the other day and was like, man, how could he do that bullshit, man? That.
Pootie Tang has made my children cry. I'll not support him anymore.
Actually, speaking of sponsors.
Oh, yeah.
Look
What's
at your camera.
What?
You gotta read the sponsor.
I'm not fucking reading that. Are you kidding me? Is this a joke?
Nope.
So this was actually brought up. So in front of me is a fucking ad, and my audience asked me, they go, are you going to have to read Gavin's ads? And I said, oh yeah, I'm also going to eat men's boogers while fucking taking it all over the face. I will not read this fucking ad. If you want to come in here and read it for me, you can. But I can't, I don't know Deep Discount. I don't work for them, and they don't pay me. So I can't endorse them. Absolutely not.
Yeah, but you're doing the job for Gavin. So if Gavin said, dude, you made me lose a sponsor.
He didn't bring this up.
Go
he needs to
yourself.
pay me. I'm doing this
I would
fucking
completely
free. I had to
understand
buy my own goddamn plane ticket.
Hold
This
on.
ad will not be read under my watch.
Well, look, you said it yourself. He's giving you an opportunity. You're getting fans. I mean,
It ain't
he is
happening.
paying you.
I would rather give up the entire opportunity. I will not read that ad. But you could come in and read the ad.
Look at Aaron. Aaron's like, are you fucking kidding me? Look at her.
She's kidding.
No, she's not kidding.
Can't he do it?
Go ahead. Yes.
There, he could do it.
I don't believe in deepdiscount.com. I have a personal aversion to the company. I don't like the company, but he's got to read it. It's his job.
You're getting paid here, not me.
I'll read. You want to read it?
Yeah, have him read it.
Look, Aaron's look at her face. She's so serious right now.
I'm sure they're a great company. I don't know anything about them, so I can't say they're great. It would be a lie.
Guys, deepdiscount.com.
He was 100% vindicated for this stance. If you look at the reviews for Deep Discount, 1.5 stars, 2 stars, awful condition. Ordered them via Walmart, and they canceled the order after it arrived. Horrible return policy. Never buying again. Oh, happy customer, look at that. Horrible packaging and customer support. Terrible customer service. Horrible company to order from. Horrible communication. By far the worst shipping website ever. Deep Discount should be called Deep Disappointment. You're talking to a group of people that have supported you and funded your career. You should have some obligation not to screw them over for a quick buck. But doing advertisements in general, like, is Shane Gillis a sellout for all of the brand deals that he has? I don't think so. Like, since he was an open micer living on an air mattress in Philly, he's like, I like Bud Light and Notre Dame football. And then he got so good at comedy that his favorite beer and football team liked him back and pay him to drink at their games. Dude, fuck a white picket fence. That's the American dream. And he had many opportunities to sell out. After he got canceled from SNL, he could have gone either way in the culture war. Like, he could have done the full aggrieved white man hustle that was like, you know what, actually, we're the real victims of racism, if you think about it. I think he was even offered a job at InfoWars that he said no to. And then he could have gone the other way as well and just did the self-flagellating white pussy liberal move and was like, Yeah, I'm actually literally the devil for thinking that saying neuters instead of noodles is funny. I will be checking myself into a re-education camp that Chinese voice is not maybe a little funny sometimes. When the Bud Light controversy happened, he could have jumped in on that dog pile, but he's like, no, it's actually gayer than gay sex to care this much that Bud Light sent one trans person a beer with their face on it. You are gay. When he was in negotiations for the show Tires, they initially didn't want to have his friend McKeever directing it, and then he refused and said he wouldn't do it with anyone else, and he brought all of his friends along with him and made like 10 of his friends millionaires. He's the counterexample to the false dichotomy that you have to choose between getting money or having integrity and doing things the way you want to do them. It's fucking rare. Literally, I can't think of anyone else, but he did it, so, you know, it's possible. If you're in your 20s and listen to podcasts, advertisers do not think very highly of you. They're like, hey, are you a depressed gambling addict on drugs whose dick doesn't work? I'm like, all right, well, 3 out of 4, lucky guess. So the reason I don't want to do ads for gambling is because I'm very bad at it. My whole family gambles. We used to take family vacations to Biloxi, Mississippi to go to casinos when I was like 6. So I have the bug. One time my friend came to town, and he'd never been to a casino before, so I took him to the Hard Rock, and then we won a couple $100 playing roulette, and then on the way out, we passed by the Baccarat tables, and I go, you know what, you found me at a very Chinese point in my life. The guy with all the face tattoos on TikTok said this was the best game at the casino, so I sit down, immediately lose $200. I'm like, God fucking damn it. Okay, we're getting out of here. So then we walk by, we're getting closer to the door, and we see the blackjack table, and my friend's like, you know what? I don't even know how to play blackjack. I'm like, all right, well, I'll show you. Here. So the goal of the game is you want to get as close to 20. Fuck! Just immediately lose another $100. I'm tilted. I'm like, you know what? Fuck this. We're going back to the roulette tables where this all started, getting money out of the ATM, double or nothing, everything I lost on black. Green. Green? Fuck! I'm fucking ruined!
Another fucking day in my fucking life!
And then I turn to my friend and I go, anyway, so that's gambling. It's pretty fun, right? So I lost like $600, which was a sizable portion of my net worth. And then I go home to my wife and I'm like, babe, you're not going to believe it. I lost $100. So my grandpa buys hundreds of lottery tickets a week. His basement is just full of cardboard boxes filled to the brim with scratchy lottery tickets. And there's this one convenience store I used to buy him at all the time, and the owner's daughter would always be there hanging out coloring, and he felt bad she had to hang out in the convenience store all day, so he used to bring her toys and stuff when he would go in. And one day he was taking me and my brother to an arcade when we were younger, so he stopped inside and was like, hey, does she want to come with us? And then the owner barely spoke English. He's like, what? So he started trying to pantomime, like, her come with us? Skee ball? And she goes, okay. And he doesn't know this lady outside of the context of how many lottery tickets he buys, but she just comes with us. So from the outside perspective, he just goes in for a sweet tea and scratchy lottery tickets and comes out with a Chinese baby. So then we take her to the arcade. She doesn't say anything the entire time. She's just fucking tearing it up at Dance Dance Revolution, dropping skee balls from the corner into the 5,000 slot, just printing tickets. So then we take her home with her giant stuffed monkey, and my grandpa just buys more scratchy lottery tickets. It's like in Skyrim when you max out the relationship meter with the merchants. He gambled so much that they just entrusted him with a child. They're like, you know what? He's been such a good customer. If he doesn't bring her back, I think it's honestly a wash. He never went broke because boomers used to have this thing called a pension. So they could buy a 4-bedroom house for $15,000, and then their old job just keeps paying them for the rest of their life so they could buy more scratchy lottery tickets and commemorative 9/11 gold coins. You do not have a pension. You will become homeless.
Congratulations to the winners.
Oh yeah, it feels good to be fucking back, my friends. Oh my god, that's fucking it, people. Oh no.
I'm so sorry, Gabe. You probably feel like such an idiot giving that to me, dude. I'm so sorry, bro. I am such a fucking moron, dude. I am such a fucking moron. Oh my fucking god, dude. I am bleeding. Oh my fucking god, dude.
Oh my god!
The DraftKings ads don't show that side of it. They'll have Kevin Hart chest-bumping Gronk at a Super Bowl party, but don't show you getting kicked out of the house because you stole money from your mom's purse to bet the over on the Ravens. The gambling epidemic goes hand in hand with the general hopelessness for people my age. You're living paycheck to paycheck, barely anything goes into savings. You won't be able to make a down payment on a house anyway, so you might as well start throwing Hail Marys, making prop bets on FanDuel, in the hopes that if it hits, you'll be able to take your car to a mechanic this month. Gambling is being infused into every aspect of American life. On ESPN, they're partnering with FanDuel for the picks of the weeks. CNN has partnered with the prediction market Kalshi that lets you gamble on anything from the outcome of the P. Diddy trial to the death toll of a tsunami in Thailand. Banking apps like Covered are integrating games of chance to let you play double or nothing on credit card debt that you can't afford. The immediate access is the scary part. It's too easy to set up a string of parlays on your phone in between gooning. One advertisement you might have heard on podcasts recently is for a drug called kratom. It's a plant from Thailand you can brew into a tea that feels like a stimulant at lower doses and acts on your opioid receptors at higher doses for the opposite effect. The closest thing you can compare it to is taking half a Percocet in a Red Bull. And I can't really market that as being non-addictive, because I'm addicted to it. So when I first started doing comedy, I had horrible stage fright. Before every show, I would throw up in the alley outside of the open mic. I was just a nervous wreck. I was like 19 and in a new city. And my buddy would go with me to shows sometimes, and he just had a shoulder surgery, so he got prescribed a bottle of Percocet, and he didn't want to take them, so I offered to buy the bottle off of him so I could just manage the stage fright. And it worked, but I didn't want to get carried away, so I made a deal with myself. I'm like, okay, I'm only going to take it before I do comedy. And that's how I got addicted to stand-up comedy. So I was just high on Percocet for like the first 3 months I was doing stand-up, and people would be like, hey, you're kind of doing Mitch Hedberg. And one, I totally was ripping him off.
I used to be a lifeguard over the summer, and instead of wearing a regular whistle around my neck, I wore a slide whistle. That way if somebody drowns, starts to sink to the bottom, I can make the noise.
But two, that's also just kind of what people sound like when they're on opiates. You're so relaxed, you just turn into a jazz musician.
When I was a boy, I laid in my twin-size bed, wondering where my brother was.
Then once I ran out, I never got more, but I started doing shows at kratom bars, and I'd never heard of them, but they'd offer you a free drink, and it kind of did the same thing for alleviating the stage fright. And I love that too. You know you love it when you start making rules with yourself. I'm like, okay, I don't want to take it 2 days in a row because I don't want to develop a dependency for it. But then something stressful happens and you want to take it to calm down, or you need to focus on something, so you take it to lock in. And then you just Pavlovian train yourself that anytime something bad happens or anytime you need to focus, you need to take it, and you feel like you're drowning if you don't have it. So I've ended up doing it pretty much every day for the last 6 years. Like, it's fine. It's still a gas station drug. You don't need to steal catalytic converters for it. It's super cheap, and you know, you're not really fucked up or anything. But it is habit forming. If I stop without tapering down, will I thrash around in my sleep all night and sweat through my sheets? Yeah, sure, a little bit. Okay, maybe it's a drug. And the problem is it's sold as a sober alternative in a lot of the marketing material for it. So people that used to be junkies will end up taking it thinking they found a loophole and then start abusing it just like they used to with hard drugs. The 7-OH extracts and concentrates are where people start to have problems. It's significantly stronger and more equivalent to morphine. This is how it ended up for comedian and former heroin addict Jason Ellis when he started to take a drug ironically called Feel Free.
I believe from the start I was offered a sponsorship deal. So it was like money, and then if I did a promo code, I would receive some money on every individual bottle that was sold with using my promo code. So I was looking for something to do to take the edge off. And then when I did this shot, it kind of loosened me up a little bit. It made drunk people and people that drank around me more tolerable. And then that's right, when I got into comedy, so late nights I would do another shot before I'd go on stage, and it was almost like it kind of loosened me up. And that would kind of give me a little bit of a buzz. And there would be this feeling of like, not all the time, but sometimes I'd go, oh, it's working. Like it's like a painkiller. Like I'm high. I'm high. And I'm not, as far as I know, doing anything bad. I tried, and it was really hard, and it's funny. It's just like addiction. Like I got off, and it was a couple of days of hell, and I slowly got back on it again, secretly, to the people that I already confessed that I was addicted to, and they helped me get off it. And then I secretly started doing them again, like a junkie. He's like, it's not going to be easy, but you can white knuckle it. The second day of not doing it was when I was like, okay, you've got to be joking me. This is like really bad. I am freaking the fuck out.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the third day, my manager was watching me, and I was in a head to toe, like sweatpants with a blanket and with the house on it, with the heater on, freezing cold and sweating. And I was like, I feel like I'm seizing up. And I was rocking back and forth, and I was like, I've got to turn the jacuzzi on. If I go, my arms are coming in and I'm locking up.
Yeah.
If I go into the jacuzzi, it'll like defrost me. I had like some theory, you know? And I was like, I've just got to get to the jacuzzi, and I couldn't get up. And I was like, get up, you know what I mean? Like, do it. And I start to get up, I start to walk, and my legs don't want to move. I get outside, I get to the jacuzzi, and I can't move anymore, and I can't put my hands out. So when I went to crouch down, I just fell over, and I couldn't even put my hands out. I just landed on my side, and I was like 6 feet away from the jacuzzi, and it was like a in-ground one.
Yeah.
And I was next to, on the red bricks, and I was just rocking back and forth. And my manager was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm okay." She's like, "You don't look okay." I'm like, "I'm okay. I'm okay." And I'm in a trance because it's been 3 days. I don't want to eat. I think if I just do one, it'll help me. But I know that if I do one, then this feeling is gonna be one more day.
Mm-hmm.
And I just keep thinking like one more day, and I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna be okay. And it got to the point where I started to feel like I was gonna have like a seizure, and I couldn't stop shaking. I was like, really stop shaking, and I couldn't stop it. So I hit my own head. I'll never forget it. I hit my own head on the concrete to stun myself.
Intentionally?
Yeah, because I thought that if I stunned myself, it would kind of stop the seizure from happening. And I was right. I hit my head and I kind of like fuzzed myself out, and that's when my manager was like, "Jason, like I'm, you know what I mean, like, what are you doing?" And I was like, I don't know if I even said anything. I was just like, I'm helping myself.
It works for some people. Like the non-extract plant version has been good for people that need pain relief and don't want to get on pills, or people that can just take it recreationally. I basically microdose it as an anti-anxiety medicine, but I don't know you. There's people that can take it recreationally, and there's people that can't. And I would hate for an 18-year-old that just thought my videos were funny to start taking it and have the same experience as Jason, just so I can get $2 in commission. So those are the lines that I have right now. There might be some company that I wouldn't mind working with. Like my wife really likes Bombas running socks, but they're like $50 for a 3-pack, so I could really use some free ones. Bombas, please, send size 7 women's running socks. DM me on Instagram. Bombas. I don't think they use slaves. And some people might think that's selling out, but there's not really clearly defined rules. So I'm going to try to establish some. I think there's 4 distinct categories. You have scammers, shills, grifters, and sellouts. Scammers are the characters that CoffeeZilla investigates. They just take their existing fan base and then find a way to directly extract money from them through nefarious plots and schemes. From Logan Paul's Crypto Zoo, to Andrew Tate's Hustlers University Pyramid Scheme, to Whistling Diesel's day trading saga. Some of them might not even know that they're running a scam. To save her life, I do not believe that Haley Welch would be able to define what blockchain is. She just got in way over her head and didn't have anyone to do due diligence around her to tell her not to get into crypto schemes. And you may be inclined to say that the audience have to take some personal responsibility. It's a little hard to feel bad for a grown man going, "I cannot believe that Haktua has betrayed me. I put all my life savings into Mommy Melker's coin, and now my kids are gonna starve. I trusted you as a financial advisor, random lady who talked about giving sloppy head in a TikTok one time, and then you go around and do a rug pull on all my shares of dog fart. It's gonna be a cold Christmas in the streets because of you. But that's likely part of their strategy, to shroud legitimate investment fraud around silly memes and trends to make it seem like it's no big deal. You just need to be careful. Influencers do not get rich by making you rich. You will be the mark. This segment I'm going to keep brief because CoffeeZilla already does such a good job covering them. I recommend sharing his videos with any of your family members. Since Doge got rid of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, CoffeeZilla is the only thing standing in between your grandpa, horny singles in his area, Nigerian princes, and Donald Trump Jr. Next, we have shills. A shill goes hand in hand with a scammer. Back in the days of the carnival, a rigged game would never get any participants if everybody thought it was impossible to win, so the scammer would bring in an accomplice called the shill. They'd blend into the crowd and start playing the game as if they're a regular customer and go on a hot streak. They'd be winning back-to-backs, celebrating and causing a commotion that would draw a crowd and entice the mark, you, to put their money down and get cheated. At the end of the day, the shill and the scammer would split the money, with the public none the wiser that the person who appeared to be a neutral third party was in on the operation the whole time. A shill playing 3-card Monty can really only trick a couple dozen people a day. If they want to join the big leagues, they need to branch out into the world of political commentary. It was recently uncovered that prominent progressive influencers received up to $8,000 a month from something called the Chorus Creator Incubator Program, paid for by the 1630 Fund, a nonprofit characterized as a dark money group for unaccountable political spending. According to copies of the creator's contract, they're forbidden from disclosing the identity of any funder, and gave Chorus the ability to force creators to remove or correct content based solely on the organization's discretion if that content was made at a Chorus-organized event. Creators told Wired that the contract stipulated that they'd be kicked out and essentially cut off financially if they even so much as acknowledged that they're a part of the program. Chorus provided personal mentoring, guest bookings from prominent figures in politics, helping creators with thumbnails and algorithm optimization, and daily briefings on what trending topics they recommended covering. This is a service you would typically pay a professional for, rather than them paying you. So what are they getting in return? Controlled opposition. They amplified the voices of milquetoast centrist establishment Democrats to #resist the administration, but not too hard that it spills over the containment walls and starts to inconvenience the billionaire donor class and their interests. While they deny explicitly telling creators what they can and can't post, the recipients of this program are chosen because they're already loyalists and want to keep them on a leash from advocating for anything that goes against the party line. They know where their bread is buttered. When you know why you're getting $100,000 a year, you don't have to be told which lines not to cross.
That seems really dark. No, it's not dark. You're misunderstanding me, bro.
I think I am.
Yeah, you are. Because if the girl said no, then the answer obviously is no.
No.
But the thing is she's not gonna say no. She would never say no because of the implication.
They astroturfed Gen Z content creators to make it look like the DNC was still in touch with the youth of America and didn't need to entertain the demands of their actual constituents. Creators also have to loop Chorus in on any independently organized engagements with government officials or political leaders. If I want to work with another politician, I have to fully collaborate with them, said one creator who was offered the contract but ultimately declined to take it and asked not to be named. If I get Zoran and he wants to do an interview with me, I don't want to give that to them. Creators in the program are not allowed to use any funds or resources that they receive as part of the program to make content that supports or opposes any political candidate or campaign without express authorization from Chorus in advance and in writing, per the contract. Some creators also discussed a clause prohibiting the disparagement of other creators. The co-founder of Chorus, Brian Tyler Cohen, responded to the article by saying, "Nuh-uh.
Debunked.
I verified that Wired has yet to be sued or issue a retraction for anything printed in this article, so I'm going to assume the legitimacy of the sources and documents reviewed by the journalists and their legal team. Having an editor is fine if you disclose that you're working for someone. If you're a vice journalist, you're publicly operating as an employee of the company and making content that's in line with the tone of their publication. The issue is transparency. If you're taking donations from people who are under the impression you're an independent content creator, you're tricking those people who think they're paying to receive your personal perspective. You're going from being a thought leader to a mouthpiece. It'd be like when they say 4 out of 5 dentists recommend a certain toothpaste, and then you find out the 5th dentist was being paid by Galaxy Gas to say, who needs fucking teeth when you're high on nitrous? Whether or not they agreed wholeheartedly with Chorus's positions, letting them designate certain politicians and content creators as off limits from criticism disqualifies you from being an independent political commentator. The partisan shill would be like a carnival attendee screaming from the mountaintops that the ring toss is rigged and can't be trusted, but then are getting paid by the 3-card Monty guy to say that they have your best interest at heart and would never take advantage of you. The third category is grifters. If you ask the internet what a grifter is, it will mostly be defined as anybody that I disagree with. What I think the definition of a grifter is somebody that has an inverted source of motivation. You're not making the thing that you want to make and then putting it out there and finding a sense of community around it. First, you're identifying a community and then making a product you think will appeal to them. I think there's 2 different subcategories of grifter. There's the tribalized grifter and then the generalized. The North American tribalized grifter is an elusive beast, belonging to the chameleon family.
The chameleon is a truly bizarre creature, both in its behavior and its appearance, unlike anything else on Earth. So not surprisingly, it's given rise to all kinds of legends and myths.
Despite the devastating loss of Charlie Kirk, my incredible husband at UVU, Caleb has persisted with the same gift. Trust me, you're not a grifter, honey. It's all good.
That's and culture.
She crazy as hell, ain't she? But she good people, though. She good people. She just do that to get that redneck money.
So are you even a Republican?
Hell no. You think I like going out there and saying this ridiculous shit?
So then why do it?
Because a bitch got books to sell, that's why. Ain't no money in trying to save the world.
We need Anne in makeup.
When I first came face to face with a chameleon more than 50 years ago, I was struck not only by its beauty, but intrigued by its strange body, particularly by its tongue.
Simply trying to suggest that there might be an alternative to corporate hegemony, that there might be an alternative to our governments bending over for the benefit of big corporations.
I want to raise this
that's what ordinary people care about, mate. Let me be absolutely clear. I don't trust politicians. No one does. I don't trust the corporations in this country that you inadvertently work for every time you take this line with me.
It was a creature sent to the world to spy for a demon master.
Peter Thiel is an investor in Rumble, so whenever I'm talking about Peter Thiel, I think, well, I can't say anything that's going to ruin my potential income. So that's a level of power that's pretty extraordinary. Here's some things that I know off the top of my head about Peter Thiel. He's a Christian. He was influential in J.D. Vance coming to Christ.
Would you close in prayer?
Oh, yeah, all right.
Oh, I call on the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, our Heavenly Savior. Lord, humbly in this great congregation in Phoenix, Arizona, with my host, Tucker Carlson, in deference to him, but in ultimate deference to you, our Lord and Savior, to whom we are all your younger siblings and your children. I pray in your name that the forthcoming election be an opportunity for unity for America.
I can't collapse my love and devotion to Christ Jesus into support of one or any political party. I know that Turning Point's here to advocate primarily for republicanism. I'm not suggesting they change what they're doing. They're a brilliant organisation.
This Bentley that I parked in the church is not just for me. It's for the church. It's for us.
Can we drive it?
No.
They've learned to adapt their appearance as a defense mechanism to impending poverty or cultural irrelevance. Usually after somebody flounders in traditional media, they'll say, you know what I just remembered I love at the age of 52? America. Freedom. Specifically from the justice system once all those women come forward. But also just in general, I've grown to love bald eagles, and I pray that they save me once that article comes out about all that evil shit that I did. The newest one I've discovered is the ShamWow guy, who everybody remembers from beating up that hooker with his signature slap chop finishing move. He's decided to move to Austin at the spry age of 61 and start making anti-woke YouTube sketches. Alright, so I can't play the audio of this because it technically classifies as music, but a little bit of director's commentary. Do you see the guy in the police officer's uniform? That's my buddy Captain. Dude, I saw this, it felt like seeing my daughter on the front page of Pornhub. I'm like, brother, what are you doing? He goes, listen, he paid me $400 for 30 minutes of work. I would have shot somebody if he handed me a gun. I don't give a shit. He's a little late to the party, but honestly, if he dropped this in 2015, he could have a cabinet position in the White House by now. And look at that, he's running for Congress. I don't think being partisan or having an ideology necessarily makes you a grifter, especially if politics have always been your thing. It's when people use it as a crutch for a lack of talent or reputation. That way the audience treats you with kid gloves because you're one of them. It's very convenient to categorize yourself in a culture war. That way any criticism you get, you can say, well, that's the other side for you. They're so full of hate. They hate all of us. If you let them get me, you're gonna be next. That way you never have to come to grips with the fact that some people personally think that you fucking suck as an individual. Everything has to be this cosmic battle of good versus evil to protect their egos. 38-year-old pickup artist Tyler Fisher has perfected the art of the deflection. When a Delta flight attendant was unfortunate enough to be caught wearing a pride pin on their uniform while working Tyler's flight, he posted a picture of them to Twitter and tagged their boss demanding answers for how their employee was allowed to make him think gay thoughts, and that if nothing was done, he would have to find a new airline. They said, have fun with that because now you're banned for doxing our employee. He claimed that this was cancel culture and violated the First Amendment, despite literally trying to get someone fired for their First Amendment right to express themselves. Dozens of flight attendants made videos in support of their colleague on TikTok, joking about Fisher being a short bitch.
Delta said you have to be this tall to fly. Looks like you didn't cut it. Insulting my physical form? Delta, are you going to fire her? If she's one of your flight attendants, will you fire her for the same reason you banned me?
He again tattled to their employer to try to get them fired, somehow in his mind thinking he was on the side of free speech.
What a truly tantalizing tidbit of Tyler Tattletale technology.
He became a regular panel guest on Fox News' Gutfeld after gaining notoriety for saying he was discriminated against as a Caucasian American in the entertainment industry. In a Shakespearean betrayal, he was then discriminated against by Fox News itself and was blacklisted for making any appearances on the network. He dropped the bombshell that the reason was that Fox News had gone woke. And what was my crime? My woke crime?
What is the charge? Eating a meal? A succulent Chinese meal?
I asked an employee out for coffee. A source familiar with Fisher's interaction with the Fox News employee, which occurred in January 2025 at the network's New York headquarters, said the comedian grabbed the woman's phone, entered his number in it, and then demanded she confirm that she had his number. The exchange wasn't a friendly thing, the source said.
Now notice the words. These are woke words. Forced. They're almost making it sound like I raped her phone or something.
The Fox News employee contacted security personnel over the incident, and Fisher was escorted off the floor.
And you, sir, are you waiting to receive my limp penis? How dare get your hands off me.
Not only has Fox been serving as a secret feminist Antifa outpost the entire time, but the iceberg goes deeper. He then received a cease and desist letter and was asked to stop performing at Joe Rogan's comedy mothership in Austin due to slews of complaints on the T-App, a platform designed for women to warn each other about men in their area.
I'm kicked out of that club. There's, it's the woke mind virus. There's no other way to say it. Not only banned, a cease and desist order. I have a 45-minute HR conversation from the woke manager of the comedy club. So on the call, this guy says, you're aware that this T-App, you know, you're a problem. You understand you're a problem with women.
You see, this is how crazy
the woke
made Gotham.
I'm beyond jaded. So it's like, I'll suck your feet, sit on my face, and then get out.
Look at that one.
Uh-oh.
46 red flags. He actually had the most, this comedian had the most red flags in Austin, out of comic or not, out of anybody.
Uh-oh.
I also hated this guy, so it makes sense that that happened.
Who is it? I can't see.
We're not, I don't. Yeah.
the Marxist hotbed of militant leftism, Joe Rogan's comedy mothership had silenced another free speech warrior. The woke cabal had managed to infiltrate every single establishment on Earth to try and stop a middling impressionist from failing to get pussy. Then there are the general grifters, the people that believe in nothing, the AI sloppists, the brain rotters. The whole thing is just a pretext of views for the sake of views. An insight into the mind of the people that make this stuff can be found on the subreddits r/newtubers and r/partnered YouTube, where people are trying to find different hacks and shortcuts to go viral. They're seldom concerned on how to improve at their actual craft. They just spend their time dissecting the algorithm the way an MIT graduate would find a way to beat the casino. You can see posts such as, "I'm noticing popular YouTubers have pets. I don't know how much it matters. Most of the popular ones have a pet. The ones with a community. I'm wondering if it helps. The biggest lie is you have to use your own content. My video is getting a lot of hate. Will this hurt my channel? No, it's actually great so many people are interacting with your videos. It will definitely help your channel. Now, can some viewers say that they'll never watch you again? Sure, but currently they're watching enough to help your channel's numbers." Are slimes a dead trend? Until a few years ago, from around 2017 to 2020, slime videos were everywhere on YouTube. Satisfying sounds, bright colors, hands that squeeze and mold, a real phenomenon. Slime has become an established niche. Viral content and active creators still appear, but it no longer dominates the platform like it used to. Trends today are fragmented into micro-niches and are discovered through recommendations and shorts, so what replaced slime depends on the audience. ASMR, cozy lo-fi, restocks and cleaning. AI slop changed my life. I keep seeing users berating others if there's a hint of AI being used to create YouTube content. What's the deal? Is it the moral compass talking? Or is it the fact that because you are working hard on content and not seeing results, you don't want others to be successful because they're using AI? I started a channel 5 months ago that's complete AI slop. From script creation to images to video to narration, the only thing that's not AI on the channel is the music, all sourced from ES. And because it's all AI, I could post 2 to 3 long-form videos per day. Drop your pride and just copy the successful people in your niche. We're trained from a young age to think that you must make something completely new, that copying is cheating. Let go of your pride, your ego, and just do what the successful people are doing. We live on a few acres of land with farm animals. I started a YouTube channel with the hopes of making videos of what we do, but have discovered the videos of the animals with just ambient background noise do better. My question is, I read about hooks and content, but how do I apply that concept to videos that are just baby goats playing, ducks quacking, etc.? Do I do specific thumbnails even for shorts? I've learned real fast looking at the analytics that shorts hit a completely different audience than longer format does. The media landscape has made it so now goats also have to be e-boys. Farms used to just give us meat and cheese, now they have to double as content houses and turn their llama into Jack Doherty. The internet's taken a bizarre turn. Back in the day, you'd see something like that and go, "Oh my god, how cute, honey, grab the camera so I can show all my friends on Facebook." To now combing through the analytics and making a Reddit post about how the performance wasn't satisfactory enough. How do I optimize my click-through rate? Should I give my goat fake titties? Should I start a race war in the comments section? Should I purposefully misspell something in the captions? That way I can farm engagement from people correcting the typo. What's the meta this week? Are there any AI tools to track user pupil dilation? That way I can see the exact moment that they lose interest in my content? And at the end of the day, am I any different than the content cow?
Give me that milk. Give me that milk.
All aboard the toxic gossip train, chugging down the tracks of misinformation.
Do you realize something? Let me tell you. The health department of Greene County sees those videos that you put on the damn internet. They could condemn our house and we would have to move out of it. So you go get that goddamn stuff off of there and fast.
I'm working on it. I was making a YouTube video, get me a piece of time.
Woo-woo. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you for your tip.
I appreciate that. Woo-woo.
We ooh for every subscriber.
Woo for you.
That's
That's it.
We don't have an opinion on absolutely anything, but thank you for that
For every
donation.
subscriber.
Come on, you fucking pussy, what's the deal?
You fat fucking Oh my god. Fire it now. Fire the warning shot now.
Come on, guys. Gotta get something bigger than that. We need a dino. Official Haunted Beauty. Hey Jason, when will... That's funny.
If grifting is saying things that you don't believe just for the money, that also applies to literally every day job that I've ever had. Have you ever worked in an office? Is it a bunch of people telling it like it is? No, it's the fakest place on earth. Everybody is constantly laughing and nothing funny is said. And that used to mess with my head because, I mean, laughing is so important to me. Like, I've spent my whole life pursuing comedy. I didn't want to ruin my sense of humor with some fucking goober doing finger guns at me. So I just refused. I went to some guy would be walking by with his coffee cup like, working hard or hardly working. And I would stare at him like Jack Nicholson in The Shining. And everyone's like, hey, when's that mean autistic guy gonna fix my laptop? He's scaring the shit out of everybody. Yeah, I did corporate IT for 2 years. And I liked everyone that I worked with, but the managers in other departments were just the most horrible people that I've ever met. Like, I was replacing the laptop of some executive in a corner office, so I knock on his glass and he beckons me in, and then his desk phone is playing a voicemail of some old woman going, "What you people are doing is wrong. He was a good man. He has spent 40 years paying into your life insurance, and now you're hanging out his family to dry." And then the guy starts doing the blah, blah, blah thing with his hand and rolling his eyes. What I did next is selling out, which is nothing. Anything short of is selling out, but that was my sole source of income. I didn't have any other way to make money, so I just had to bite my tongue and reinstall Microsoft Teams for the devil. When you see people pimping themselves out online, like, have you seen the NPC streamers, like the kid that dresses like Miles Morales, and then he'll stand on a street corner for 8 hours, jumping in and out of frame every time somebody sends a galaxy emoji? You just want to be like, dude, you don't have to do that. You could get a regular job. You don't have to humiliate yourself for these people. Then you find out how much money he made doing it. It was like 6 figures in 3 months, and you go, God damn it, what size Spider-Man costume am I? I gotta get out there. This honestly might be a life with more dignity than having to yell welcome to Moe's for $12.50 an hour. We all debase ourselves to some extent every day to survive. The internet is a great place to make money. Like, one of the most popular jobs in Venezuela for upward mobility a few years ago was to be a gold miner in RuneScape. Because of hyperinflation, the bolivar was so worthless that it was basically a better use of your time to try to get gold within RuneScape and then convert it back to USD. Over time, my salary became less than $4 a month, and I just couldn't do anything with it. So I decided to try a game my neighbor was telling me to play for money, he writes to Polygon on Discord. RuneScape has been a lifeline for Martinez and his entire family. He tells Polygon he earned $450 by gold farming in RuneScape and used that money to flee Venezuela and move to Peru. He continued to play the game and saved an additional $1,000, which he used to get his mother and girlfriend out of the country. So there'd be boiler rooms full of Venezuelans trying to support their family, spending 8 hours a day grinding resources to sell back to people that didn't want to put in the legwork to play the game. Funnily enough, this created its own hyperinflation within RuneScape, affecting prices in the Grand Exchange and causing scarcity at popular farming spots. I had to leave my job as an accountant and start doing this, otherwise me and my family would be eating from the ground. Many more Venezuelans are in the same situation. As I've said before, even though I know it's hurting the game that I grew to love, I can't put the health of the game over the well-being of my family. Jagex needs to do something about these Venezuelans, another player wrote, adding, I don't care about their real life situation. They play the game solely for monetary gain, and it's ruining the economy. They offer nothing to the game, they don't interact within the community, and fail to assimilate to the values of Lumbridge. So people began making posts on how to identify and hunt Venezuelans for sport within the game. They'd set up ambushes in the wilderness along popular routes to rob the gold miners of all their currency and equipment.
Step off! Step off! Shit! They jumping me! They jumping me! Save your boy!
So when I'm shitting on the NPC streamers or the AI slop, am I basically doing the same thing as the RuneScape Venezuelan lynch mobs? It might be a bit of a privileged mindset that I'm holding the entire platform to some type of artistic integrity when it could be somebody in Bangladesh going, listen, if I put a video of somebody cutting kinetic sand under Andrew Tate, I get a hot meal today. Honestly, if you want to take fentanyl at the end of your day and somebody from Darfur made you a YouTube short of AI Peter Griffin explaining the Kirkinator in Agartha, ultimately that's between the two of you. The economy is so hopeless, people that used to work in a factory are just churning out content on an assembly line for AdSense. My daddy was a drama farmer. His daddy for him was a drama farmer. Our family has spent 3 generations harassing Brendan Schaub across the internet. It ain't much, but it's an honest day's work. We thank God above every day for Bapa's CTE and his inability to pronounce common words. My final thoughts on the 4th category, selling out. I agree with Chris Hardwick's definition. Knowingly violating your own convictions for a check.
I have no morals or belief system. I have no spirituality or anything that gives my life meaning or structure. They ask me to shoot, I do it. I have no character.
There was something called the Esther Project that the British partners put together. People looked into the FARA records, and allegedly $1 million was paid to influencers to spread pro-Israeli propaganda that they worked out to be valued at around $7,000 a post. $7,000. Fuck. What do you mean it wasn't justified? Did you even see the video? That hospital was reaching for a gun. How dare you? I was close, honestly. Like earlier this year, I was recommended to open for this comedian's run of theater shows, and then her manager followed me to like vet me for the gig. And when I saw that notification, I'm like, oh, should I get rid of that joke about Israel? Is that too controversial? And I'm like texting a bunch of friends, like, what do I do? I set it to private for like 15 minutes. And I wanted to throw up. Dude, I couldn't live with it. I've never felt that bad. So I just set it back to public. I'm like, well, fuck it. If I lose the gig, I lose the gig. I can't start doing this as a precedent. And it ended up not mattering. But that's the worry, is when you start self-censoring when nobody even asks you to. Because it's a lot of pressure when you need the money. Selling out is dependent on the individual. Like, I went camping last weekend with my wife and all my comedian friends, and we got to the classic campfire philosophical debate of would you suck a dick for $1 million? And the point of this game is to identify and bully the guy that says the lowest number. My one friend that was a vegan, he said $300. I'm like, brother, that's not even a hypothetical. That's just the going market rate for gay prostitution. Which naturally activates the trap card. Why do you know the going market rate for gay prostitution? Got my ass. So then we're just going around in a circle doing the gay auction. $100,000, $50,000, no price in the world. And then my poor wife is just sitting there as a straight lady going, I don't know, it's not that bad. It'd be like if I was sitting around a campfire with a bunch of ladies going, all right, how much would it cost for you to go down on another girl? I'm like, I don't know, a handful of trail mix? Honestly, a polite request if we're all out of trail mix. The point is, the compromise is dependent on the individual. What may be an ethical dilemma for one person might not even be an afterthought for somebody else. Like, you'll see a celebrity make a business decision that has everybody in the comments going, "How dare you? How could you sleep at night?" They go, "On a big pile of money with goose down pillows? What are we talking about?" They have no idea what's going on. It'd be like somebody going, "Can you believe that Tony the Tiger refuses to recognize the sovereignty of Taiwan?" Yes. I can absolutely believe that the cereal mascot doesn't have a strong take on one China. You never have to be confronted with compromising your morals if you never took a stand in the first place. But sometimes holding people to their prior beliefs can limit growth as well. Just because you said something at one point doesn't mean that's who you have to be forever. Like, one of my favorite musicians was Pat the Bunny. He was prolific in the folk punk scene and was the front man of bands such as Wingnut Dishwashers Union, Johnny Freight Train and the Hobos, and Ramshackle Glory. His catalog featured songs such as Free as the Rent We Don't Pay, Fuck Cops, and to reiterate, fuck every cop that's ever done their job. He wasn't in it for the money. There is no mainstream path to success for folk punk. It's a bunch of anarchist junkies playing the banjo in a sewer. Only me and 100,000 other guys like it. It's not for the Grammys or any sort of accolades. It's just for the music. He went on to shock the scene in 2016 with his retirement letter. While the bandits are still true rebels banging on the system, I'm not really one anymore. They treat me with kindness and generosity anyway, because as well as being true rebels, they're also true friends, who care about people beyond abstractions like ideology or subculture. I've grown into basically an ordinary person, albeit a somewhat strange one. Nothing I write feels very skilled at communicating whatever it is I'm trying to say, but it just seems important to tell you that I'm not really an anarchist or a punk anymore. My viewpoints have changed dramatically in the last 6 to 9 months, and this kind of politics and music is just not where my heart is anymore. I have no interest in convincing anyone of anything, so that's all that's important to say about it. I just don't want people to feel tricked when they buy or listen to my music. For the people who don't want to pay for my songs anymore because they're made by a sellout or whatever, all of my albums will remain free to download. Links for the free downloads are in the album descriptions on the Bandcamp page. May we hold warmth in our hearts for the dignity of all. May we not fear being fools. Really. Pat, no bunny. At last. He never specified how his viewpoints changed. Maybe he just lost faith there'd ever be the revolution he thought there'd be when he was younger. Maybe he just got tired of living in a van and watching all his loved ones overdose around him. So he left to get a job in computer science. That's not selling out. Singing the songs you don't believe in anymore to appease your fan base is selling out your current self. Sometimes refusing to grow or change isn't freedom. It's death.